Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Annie received an invite on Hangouts from, Kaeun Reeves. Normally I blur out the photos to protect innocent victims, but let's face it, I expect this photo's all over the internet. Annie thought she'd have a bit of fun, so she came over all high maintenance and a bit dippy. "Hello gorgeous," he said, "how are you doing today?" and sent lots of hearts. This was on a Sunday. Annie didn't spot his message for a few days, and then replied, "Hello, do I know you?" He came back the next day and said, "I'm Kaeun." Notice he's changed the spelling again, "from California. And you?" "Yes," he said, "you may know me, my dear friend." "I'm Annie from Dorset in the UK," she said. "How do I know you?" He replied by sending her another photo. "Can you please send me your picture too?" he asked. So she sent him her photo from Facebook. This introduction was on Hangouts, so he hadn't actually seen the photo she puts on Facebook. "Wow, beautiful," he said. "How old are you?" "I'm 55, said Annie. "How old are you?" "I'm 56, he said. "Well," he continued, "I'm a very social person. I'm down to earth, have a great sense of humour, with a good attitude and pleasant character, not only in words but in deeds. I don't discriminate anyone, and I love making friends." Exactly the sort of thing you'd say to a random lady on the internet if you were a world-famous actor. "OK," said Annie, "I'm a high-maintenance girl who likes the good life. My ex told me I had attitude problems." "LOL," he said. "Can you please send me more pics?" "Why?" asked Annie. "Don't you like the one I sent you?" "I love it, my dear," he said, "but I just need one more charming one." "You don't need a picture," said Annie. "I don't even know you." "I'm glad," he said, ignoring her, "and it's nice talking to you today. How is the weather over there?" "We're having a thunderstorm," said Annie. "What's it like in California? And which part of California do you live in?" It's time for a question. Where in California does Kaeun Reeves live? Kaeun Reeves. Where does he live? Totally randomly, he continued, "I'm a Buddhist by religion, a citizen of Canada, but live in," and he gave a number that looked like a UK mobile phone number, "Hills, California, US. I'm an actor, director, producer, musician as well." Annie tried phoning that number. It wasn't a valid number. "If you're Canadian," asked Annie, "why do you live in the US? That sounds like a phone number, not a house number." He came back with 004 125 2291. "Sorry about that." "What's that number?" asked Annie. "That's my house number," he said. "Do you know about John Wick?" "You mean there are 41 million houses on your street?" asked Annie. "Or do you mean that's your home phone number?" "Yes, dear," he said. A little aside, a sort of fun non-fact. If we assume that he was saying yes to there being 41 million houses on his street, and assuming that the average occupancy per house is 4, that means there are 160 million people living on his street. Google tells me that the population of the USA is 328 million. That means half of the population of the USA live on his street. That's either an awful lot of very high-rise buildings or a very long street. Back to our man, and he continued, "I believe that I have a mission of great responsibility in this world. I want to be a great example to my people and to other people around the world. I am always praying to God to give me wisdom and strength so that I can fulfil my role with great merit." "That must be a very long street," said Annie. "Does it stretch from the Brazilian border to the Canadian border? Why are you praying to God if you're Buddhist?" Question mark, question mark, question mark, replied our rather intellectually challenged scammer. "Question mark to which question?" said Annie. "A street with 40 million houses on it has to be very long, and Buddhists don't pray to God." "Why won't I pray to God?" asked our rather aggrieved scammer. "Read what I said above," said Annie. "So you aren't really Buddhist, are you? Did you say that because you thought it would impress me by making you different?" "Are you married?" he answered. "So you aren't Buddhist," said Annie, "and don't change the subject." "I'm an actor," he replied. And I don't know about John Wick, she said. Should I? Oh, I think you should, he replied. What should I know about him? Asked Annie. Unfortunately for Annie, she doesn't actually know anything that I don't know, and I'm not into that kind of movie, so I'd never heard of John Wick. That was my recent movie I acted, he said. Sorry, she said, I've never heard of it. What's it about? He sent her a couple of stills from the movie, which I haven't reproduced because they're probably copyright. You can watch it on YouTube, my dear, he said. Doesn't look like my kind of film, she said. Sorry, I like comedies and happy films. Oh, I see, he said. Good to know you, my dear. What's your occupation? I work on the checkouts at my local supermarket, she said. OK, dear, he said. Are you married? No, said Annie, I'm divorced. He was a total jerk. Are you married? Divorced too, my dear, he said. My movie acting gives me a lot of joy. It must be nice to have a job you enjoy, said Annie. I hate my job and the pay is awful. I can't even afford my manicures and treatments any more. It's awful. Yes, dear, about asking you that, he said. Sorry, said Annie. I didn't understand that. Envy him, he said, which I assumed meant never mind. OK, said Annie, sending a sad face. Why are you sad? He asked. Because you won't tell me what you meant, she said. Are you in the process of making any movies? Oh, he said, I was about asking if your market selling earn you enough for yourself. Yes, my dear. Market selling, said Annie. I work on the checkouts in a supermarket, and no, it doesn't earn me enough money. I hate it. John Wick 4 is now scheduled for a Memorial Day weekend release on May the 27th, 2022, he said. You don't have to hate your work, honey. That's all you got now, OK? I bet you get paid a lot more for acting in that than I do at the supermarket, she said. Do you think you can get a better work for yourself, dear? He asked. I don't have any qualifications, said Annie. I wasn't any good at school. It's hard to find a good job. Oh dear, he said. So how do you earn from your work, feel free? Pardon, said Annie. Feel free to do what? Sorry for that, he said. Hope you love kids. I love kids so much because they're a gift from God. I feel bad and I shed tears at times when I remember how kids suffer around the world, especially poor kids who are orphans and kids suffering as a result of terrorism. Yes, it's horrible how badly some kids are treated, said Annie. Yes, dear, so bad, he replied. Countries like Syria, Nigeria, Iraq and Afghanistan and other countries in Africa are suffering as a result of terrorist attacks. I didn't know Iraq was in Africa, said Annie. I wasn't any good at geography. I failed my geography exam. I help the poor people around the world because God has really blessed me, he said. I knew you weren't really Buddhist, replied Annie. Is that part of your acting? At least you didn't tell me what an honest man you are. So many men tell me that where I live in Shaftesbury, and they're all liars. Yes, dear, he said. Why do men do that? Continued Annie. Lie to impress a woman, just make them look like total jerks. I take the time to help other people without expecting a reward or gratitude, he said. It's definitely important in living an optimistic life. There is more happiness in giving than taking. It must be so nice to be able to help people, she said. I don't know why, my dear, he said. It's really confusing. Presumably in answer to Annie asking him why so many men were liars. I wish I had someone to help me, said Annie. Do you love acting? He asked. I've never tried acting, said Annie. LOL, he replied. Would you love to act? I suppose it would be fun to be an extra in a film, she said. Yes, dear, he replied. Could I come and be an extra in your film? She asked. I'd love a holiday in California. You want? He asked. Of course, she said, if you could arrange it. Fancy being able to tell people I was in a proper film. No one would believe me. Don't worry, dear, he said. I will do something about it. Oh, my goodness, said Annie. Could you really do that? Hold it to yourself, dear, he said. Many people don't really like good things. Maybe, when you're here, you can take a cool photos with me. I don't understand that, said Annie. Hold what to myself? About acting with me in my movie, he said. Oh, you mean you don't want me to tell my friends, she said. They wouldn't believe me anyway, and they'd be jealous. I'm not going to tell them. OK, dear, good, he said. And what would you act like in my movie? I don't know, said Annie. I've never tried acting. Doesn't how you act depend on what part you're playing? How do you want me to act? My girlfriend, he said, smiley faces. You mean you want me to play your girlfriend in the movie? Is that a big part? Would I have to learn lots of lines? Will I be famous? Acting is cool, he said. It's fun too. I'm sure it's fun, said Annie. I'm not sure I could learn all those lines, but if I'm famous, I'd get lots of money. Yes, dear, a lot, he said. Then I wouldn't have to work in that awful supermarket, she said. Yes, dear, you'll have good money than stressing yourself all day. Will it be enough money to buy a nicer house, she said, and a new car? Yes, of course, he said. Oh, my goodness, said Annie. What have I got to do? Can I come to California? Yes, he said. Oh, my word, I don't know what to say. I'm so excited. Where are you in California? Where would I have to fly to? I can't afford to fly and stay in fancy hotels and stuff. Are the film company going to pay for me to do that? Yes, honey, he said. You have to do is to get the form. What form? Asked Annie. So, replied our scammer, do you wish to join the John Wick Club or be part of the John Wick movie collection? What are they? Asked Annie. Fill in the details if you want to join the Wick Club. And he asked her for all her personal information. Your flight is free, he said. One thing I won't take from you is you exposing my conversation with you. Oh, sorry, mate. Joining the Wick Club is very important. It makes you famous, and you will stand the chance of receiving $35,000 every 2 weeks as a member. What's the John Wick's Club? Asked Annie. That's my club for my movie acting, to know my members, he said. I don't want to join a club, said Annie. I'm going to be in your film. Why, dear, you don't want to be getting paid? He asked. Why do I have to join a club to get paid for being in a film? Won't the film company pay me? Asked Annie. There will, he said. That's good, she said, so I don't have to join the club. I thought that seemed a bit odd. When do you want me to come to California? And where in California? The club give a lot, he said, and you don't need your Facebook anymore, because the John Wick Club will make you an Instagram and a Facebook verified page. You don't have to worry about your Facebook and Instagram. I don't use Instagram, said Annie. When you become a member or join the John Wick Club, you are liable or free to go on a tour to any 5 different countries of your choice, my dear. I don't want to join a club, said Annie. I want to be in your film like you said I would. And then, remember, just now, he said her flight would be free. You have to pay for your flight? ? I suppose I will, yes, said Annie. Or will the film company pay? You still haven't told me where I have to fly to. Yes, dear, he said. Are you going to tell me where to fly to? She asked. I can't book a flight if I don't know where I'm flying to. OK, he said. I'll tell you where to fly to tomorrow. OK? OK, said Annie. Having failed to get his victim to join his fictitious club, our man didn't have a plan B, so he disappeared. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another Keep Safe on the Net video on YouTube.